Good morning, students. Today we are starting with the last part of chapter Manufacturing Industries. We have done different types of industries. We also have done about where are they located, what are the uses of these industries. So whenever we talk about industrialization or industries, one thing is very common, that is industrial pollution, because development always comes with some of the consequences, especially when we talk about industrialization. Industrial pollution is related with it, because human beings, without realizing the consequences of industrialization, have done the industrialization in a reckless manner. So today we are going to do this part of industrial pollution and environmental degradation. Industries contribute significantly to India's economic growth and development. We have seen that when we talk about the secondary sector, it gives a good amount of share to GDP. So the development has to take place. But on the other side, it has created so many different types of pollutions. We have basically four types of pollutions which are discussed here. They are air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, noise pollution, and the polluting industries include mainly thermal power plants. So we call it as thermal pollution also. We start with the first type of pollution, that is air pollution. Now, why is this air pollution caused? In general way, when we say any industry which releases its smoke, which emits its smoke into the air without treating that smoke, that causes air pollution. So, what is air pollution? It is caused by the presence of high amount of undesirable gases such as sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide. Airborne particles or materials, they contain both solid and liquid particles like dust, sprays, mist and smoke. And this smoke is emitted into, mainly the smoke is emitted by which industries? It is emitted into the air, but by which major industries? This is emitted by mainly chemical, paper factory industry, then oil refineries and smelting plants. These are the main culprits, we can call, that which emits these harmful gases into the air. The burning of fossil fuels in big and small factories that ignore pollution norms. They don't check about the pollution, and the government is also not checking that much about this pollution. Only when presently we see in that whenever there is pollution in Delhi, many factories are closed. So now the government is taking care, even the people are taking care of about this air pollution, because we are facing so many health issues because of this air pollution. Toxic gas leaks can be very hazardous with long-term effects also. If the gas leaks, toxic gas, which is very harmful with air, with the chemicals, it will affect our life for many years. Not only we, even our generations gets affected by this. Do you know that there was once upon a time in India, there was a tragedy which is called as the Bhopal gas tragedy. Children, anybody know about this Bhopal gas tragedy? That when did it happen and what had happened during this tragedy and who is the main culprit? This Bhopal gas leak, this incident which I am talking about, on the night of 2nd and 3rd December 1984. It occurred at the Union Carbide India Limited pesticide plant in Bhopal, which is in Madhya Pradesh. And it is considered among the world's worst disaster, the industrial disaster. Over 5 lakh people were exposed to methyl isocyanate gas. The highly toxic substance made its way into and around the small towns located near the plant. And there were so many deaths. Over 16,000 deaths were there, and more than 5 lakh people were injured. And not only that, the consequences of that can be seen in the next generations also. This many, some of them died immediately, but their consequences, some of them were seen later on also because of this leakage of the gas in the air. Some of them got so many of their health diseases, health problems over there. So this is all due to the industrial pollution. So that much havoc it can cause children. So the industrialists have to be very, very careful about these kind of tragedies. They should see that these kind of tragedies do not occur again in the atmosphere at all. So air pollution adversely affects the human health. It also affects the all the biosphere, rather it is humans, animals, plants, everywhere, everybody gets affected. That's your first kind of pollution, that is air pollution. We talk about next type of pollution, which is water pollution. It is mainly caused by organic and inorganic industrial waste and the effluents which are discharged into the rivers without treating them. Again, it is same as the chemicals or all these industrial waste is discharged into the water. It can be rivers or lakes, any type of water body. They are discharged without treating them. That also causes lot of pollution, water pollution. And the main culprits which cause this pollution are, the water pollution are paper, pulp, chemical and textile industries, petroleum refineries, electroplating industries, dyes, detergents, acids, salts, etc. There are so many killers, or there are so many industries which are causing the water pollution also. And we have the next topic, that is your thermal pollution. Now, what is thermal pollution? When hot water from the factories and the thermal power plants, it's, when I talk about hot water, it's almost boiling water, boiling completely. That kind of water is drained into rivers and ponds before cooling it. And I'm not talking about just a bucket of water or a mug of water. When I talk about, it's so much of amount of water which is discharged into the lakes and the ponds, that hot water. Now, how it is effective onto the aquatic life? When this hot water, boiling water, enters into the rivers and ponds, it kills our aquatic life. So, which are these plants which we are talking about? Waste from the nuclear power plants, nuclear and weapon production, even the facilities cause cancers. They cause the birth defects and miscarriages also. Soil and water pollution are closely related. Dumping of waste, especially glass, harmful chemicals, industrial effluents, all these also, they make the soil useless completely. We studied in the earlier classes also that how soil gets degraded. And rainwater percolates to the soil, carrying the pollutants even to the ground. And groundwater also gets contaminated. We have seen when the excessive amount of these fertilizers and pesticides are used and they are mixed with, they get mixed with the soil and the water, and they penetrate even into the ground level, and even our underground water gets polluted because of that. So that's how we have the thermal pollution as well as the soil and the land pollution related with one another. Then we have noise pollution. Noise pollution, especially in the cities, you can see it is caused by vehicles, it is caused by unwanted sound, it is caused by industrial and construction activities which takes place, it is caused by outdated machinery, it is caused by generators which are used by the industries or by even the shops, factories, etc. Now, what it can cause? Noise pollution causes irritation and anger. If you are living in a residential area and next to your house, if there is a continuous noise of like a hammer, somebody is putting a hammer on your head, what will happen? It will cause irritation and anger among you, which can cause hearing impairment. It can increase the heart rate and the blood pressure among the psychological effects. You cannot do any work if you get that continuous noise into your head. Unwanted sound is an irritant and a source of stress also. If you listen anything at a high voice, it will cause a stress also in your mind. And which are the causes of this stress? They are industrial construction activities, machineries, factory equipment, generators, all these, even drilling. You might have seen if a drilling machine, if the drilling is done like in your house or in your neighboring house, if any drilling activity is taking place, definitely you won't be able to bear that noise. So that is why even we advise the students and the children not to hear any kind of music at a high pitch. So these are the causes of the noise pollution. Once we know the causes or what are the types of different types of pollutions, we go to the next part, which is a related part, definitely, because it tells that how we can conserve this environmental degradation. So that's the next topic, control of environmental degradation. Several methods are given that how can we control air pollution or noise pollution or thermal pollution or the water pollution. How can we conserve them? We know that every little of wastewater discharged by our industry pollutes 8 times the quantity of fresh water. You can see that how much fresh water is getting polluted by even a liter of wastewater which is discharged. So how can the industrial pollution of fresh water be reduced? Some suggestions are given here for the, especially for the industrialist, for the industries. The first one is minimizing use water for processing by reusing and recycling. We often study these terms, reuse and recycling of the water. Then we have harvesting of rainwater to meet the water requirements, that is conserving of the rainwater. Or you might have again studied that how can we conserve the rainwater. For example, if on the terraces, we call it as even the on the terraces rainwater harvesting, it is called as on the terrace. If the water is falling, what will happen if you don't conserve it? It will just flow into the sewages. So instead of that, you can fit a pipe there, and PVC pipe, and the filters in that. So the water will enter into that PVC pipe. It gets filtered over there, and that pipe you can fit that pipe to a well or to an underground open. You can dig in the underground, in the ground, and you can allow that water into that ground, that pit which I am talking about. So in that way you can do the rainwater harvesting. Then treating hot water and effluents before you release that hot water, and that should be treated properly, that should be cooled out properly, and then only it should be released into the rivers and the ponds. And it can be done in three phases. How it is done? It's a completely chemical process which is given over there, scientific process. The first is in this, how can it be treated, how can it be cooled down, how can it be in the three steps it can be treated, and then it can be released into the rivers and the ponds. That is given there. First one is primary treatment by mechanical means. This involves cleaning, grinding, flocculation and sedimentation. Children, these are the science terms. Like flocculation is refers to the process by which fine particles are caused to clump together into a flock. The flock may then float to the top of the liquid. So that is how it is done. Then we talk about the sedimentation, which is settle out, which we call it as in easy terms, tendency for the particles in suspension to settle out the fluid. So that's what is the sedimentation is done. Then secondary treatment is done by a biological process. Then the third is recycling of the waste water. Then we have several other conservation methods also, children. Here we have few more conservation methods given over there. For example, how can we conserve the how can we stop this noise pollution, how can we stop the other types of pollutions? Few of them are given over there. For example, overdrawing of groundwater. We can see that for the industrial purposes, for the agricultural purposes, people overdraw the groundwater, which is causing the groundwater table to reduce. So by industry, where there is a threat to the groundwater resources, it also needs to be legalized. If anybody using the groundwater ground pumping system, the it should be legally set up by taking the permission of the government. Particular matter in the air can be reduced. Now, how can we reduce the air pollution? We can fit the smokestack, that is the chimneys which we talk about. In the chimneys, there is a pipe. In that pipe, there can be a proper filters. Proper filters can be set up in those pipes, and after filtering only the smoke can be emitted into the air. Smoke can be reduced by using even oil and gas instead of coal in factories. Most of the smoke comes from the coal, which is a major input for many of the industries. So that can be reduced if oil and gas can be used over there. So machinery and equipment, when we talk about the noise pollution, it is the machines and the equipment which cause lots of noise. So that can be fitted with the silencers. If there is a silencer fit into the machines or the equipment, it will not cause much of the pollution. And if we update the machinery also, that will increase the energy efficiency as well as it will reduce the noise pollution. So that's how the different types of these pollutions we can avoid. And even when we are listening to the music, we can use the earplugs or the earphones. Even hearing hearing any kind of these things at a high pitch, even through the earphones or earplugs, can damage your ears. So we have to reduce that also. So the challenge of sustainable development requires, we are talking about the sustainable development which we talked in the first chapter also. So we need to have the sustainable development. That means development should take place without harming the environment. We can adopt all these methods which we have discussed just now. Now, other than that, we have one of the important part here, which is about the NTPC. Children, What do we mean by NTPC? Now, NTPC is National Thermal Power Corporation Limited. National Thermal Power Corporation Limited. It is an Indian public sector undertaking which is engaged in the business of generation of electricity and allied activities. It is a company incorporated under the Companies Act 1956 and is promoted by the Government of India. So what is its work? Its work is to generate electricity, and it also looks after the allied activities, and it allocates the electricity to the different regions of our country. So that is the work of NTPC. So many thermal power plants are set up by the NTPC. Now thermal power plants, we all know it uses the fossil fuels. It uses the fossil fuels, like it uses the oil, gas, coal, etc. All these, and the coal emits lot of pollution. So the NTPC now is not only setting up of thermal power plants and generating electricity, it is also taking care of the environment. So how it is taking care of the environment? Few steps have been given here. It is doing optimum utilization of equipment, adopting latest techniques, and upgrading existing equipment. So obviously they will keep on upgrading their equipment so that there can be less amount of the pollution. Minimizing waste generation by maximizing ash utilization. That is the waste, even that the waste generation should be minimized if we use the proper techniques and our labor is skillful, and even that waste ash, we call it as, that should be properly utilized. Not only this, we can the NTPC provides green belts also. Wherever it sets up the thermal power plants, it sees that there is even a greenery set up over there also, which is mainly they even take care in the drives, like planting of the trees, which is called as afforestation also. Then we have the fourth step, that is the reducing environmental pollution through ash pond management and ash water recycling system and liquid waste management. Now what is this ash pond management? Is a simple, like when we talk about this if industrial waste is released into the rivers and the lakes like that, so instead of that, what does this NTPC do is it will create an artificial pond, a small pond, where this all these waste and all these is released. So I'm telling what is an ash pond management. An ash pond is a geotechnically designed structure made up of earthen wall all around. So it's like a pond. They dig that earth and they make it like a pond, artificial pond, creating an impoundment. Impoundment is a pond for the disposal of this bottom ash and fly ash all together from a thermal power station in a wet form. So the wet disposal of ash into ash pond is the most common method widely used in all power stations. So that's about the ash pond management. And then we have the last part, ecological monitoring. This is the technical or the technological part. Ecological monitoring, reviews, online database management, all these are done in our power station. So this is how the role is played by NTPC to take care of our environment. You can see the pictures over here of one of the NTPC plant at Ramagundam, which is located in Telangana. And then we have the sewage treatment plant under Yamuna Action Plan at Faridabad. So these are the pictures over there. And that completes children chapter on your manufacturing industries. I want all of you to go through all the videos which I have posted till now in this chapter, because it was a very big chapter. So you can go through all the videos before I take your online class. And in online class, we'll just go through once the chapter where I'll be asking you the questions and you have to answer them. So please listen to all the videos thoroughly. and then we will have an online class. Once we do the recap of the chapter very quickly, since I have done in the video everything very clearly. So we'll have a recap of the chapter and then we'll do MCQs, children. So that's all, children, for today. Have a good day and keep revising all these videos.